The audience in our musical comedy theatre tonight is going to see a piece which is closer to the comic opera tradition than the familiar type of light-hearted and somewhat plotless musical comedy. This production derives from a famous play by a famous French playwright, Victorien Sardou's Madame Songe. With music and libretto by Ivan Caryll, it made its Australian debut in 1909 as the Duchess of Danzig, with that great artist Florence Young as Madame Songe. But tonight's audience is now seated. The house quietens as the curtain rises on the stirring opening chorus of the Duchess of Danzig. The laundry of Catherine Upshur on the Rue Royale is well known to the soldiers of the National Guard. The blanchisseurs are comely and capable too, for no man can say that he has lost so much as a button at Catherine's establishment, though he might have lost his heart. Sergeant Lefebvre, for instance, is busy courting Catherine herself. His pet name for her is Madame Songe, Madame Free and Easy, but the lady prefers to explain her sobriquet to the soldiers herself. A lively diversion follows when old Papillon, the peddler, arrives with his wares and does a brisk trade with pots of rouge, wedding rings, and real emeralds going at 3 francs a pair. But for Catherine, something special. Commissioned by Lefebvre, he has brought for her the uniform of a vivandière. Excitedly she tries on the rakish tunic and cap, which she will perhaps soon wear as a regimental camp follower, for France is on the brink of a revolution. This afternoon at 2 o'clock, the National Guard are marching on the Tuileries. Already the mob are charging through Paris to the tune of Ça ira, and now the tocsin sounds. The revolution is underway, and Lefebvre must take his place with the insurgents. Take care of yourself, she says. But it will take more than Swiss guards to kill the man who's going to marry Songe. Then, as he buckles on his sword, she reminds him of the happy days they will spend together when all this turmoil and bloodshed is only a memory.
Will jocund June, in drear December, forever each to each shall fondly say, do you remember, dear heart, it seems to me, but what low within their azure depths appear, one shade the less of blue than now I prize. Though gold grow grey, though rose to ivory wane, though furrows on my brow tell time's advance, I'll see thee sweet as on that day again. I'll hear thy footfall dainty on the ground. Do you remember? We still shall ask as long as grows the way in jocund June, in drear December, forever each to each shall fondly say, do you remember, dear heart, it seems to me, but
The tocsin sounds again, and Lefebvre takes his departure, pausing on the threshold to shout, "Down with the tyrant and up with the Republic! Vive la France! Huzzah!" Catherine comes back into the laundry and finds herself alone with a dour, ill-mannered young officer. And it is a dramatic moment for the audience when he tells her that his name is Lieutenant Bonaparte. To Catherine, the name is significant also, for this is the young man who owes her 14 francs for laundry. Come on, Lieutenant, 14 francs. But alas, the young Bonaparte has no money. He is poor, has a large family to support, he tells her. Untouched, she wants to lend him some money from her savings. But he declines, thanks her, and goes out. And we know, as sure as the sun rises, that Madame Saint-Jean will see the lieutenant again before the evening is much older. There he goes! After him, they shout! Out in the street, the mob are pursuing a fugitive. Catherine bustles to the gate, swings back the heavy bar, opens them, and... sacre bleu! It is Papillon, supporting a young nobleman, wounded and bleeding. Come in quickly, she says, and closes the gates. Who is this Papillon? The Vicomte de Bethune. He was shot in the knee. The mob followed him. I felt sorry for the poor fellow and brought him in here. Bethune pleads for mercy, and the tender-hearted Catherine offers to hide him in her room, and also to look after his 10-year-old son, Ademar. With Papillon, she carries the Vicomte up to her room, and now Lefebvre comes back in triumph. The tyrant is taken. The Tuileries have fallen. He himself has been promoted to the rank of lieutenant. And tomorrow, with Catherine at his side as vivandière, they will march together for the Republic as husband and wife and brothers in arms.
Who's here? The captain. What's Sie sought this no for.
Lefebvre, the very man I came to look for. Aha, my boy, I give you joy, a help and swell your chest out. Good soldier, you I always knew, in fact, the very best out. But through today in such a way you come with flying pennants, that thanks to me you'll shortly be gazetted the lieutenant.
Lieutenant?
Lieutenant!
I claim a lieutenant!
No, steady, since I've more for you to bear. They've made you pretty sweetheart, vivons Dieu. I bring you your commission. I see you've matched your kit to your ambition.
Oh, joy, oh, rapture, that's the way I feel. If Francois kiss me, just to show it's real. Vive mon hero!
Vive le machine!
That sober maiden sit at home in calm content like Claude of Bloom. Be mine no field of far to roam, as dashing Vivonier. Be mine amid the cannon's noise, to share the soldiers' stirring joys of marching with the boys, for France would do and dare. Brothers in arms are they, glorious fellows, sons of the stars' ray, victory mellows, ready to fight, work, live, always amid the faith, who wouldn't march with such as they, to live as a Vivonier.
Brothers in arms are they, glorious fellows, sons of the stars' array, victory mellows, ready to fight, work, play, always amid the faith, who wouldn't march with such as they, to live as a Vivonier.
Resuming the story of the Duchess of Danzig, the revolution has played topsy-turvy with the fortunes of Lefebvre and his wife. For now, Napoleon is emperor. His generals he has rewarded well. Sergeant Lefebvre has risen to the eminence of Marechal, and La Sainte-Jeanne, his wife, is Madame la Marechale. 15 years have passed, and Ademar de Bethune, Catherine's foster son, has re-inherited his estates, and we meet him in the palace gardens with Catherine, the latter magnificently attired in court robes, but hostile and unhappy amidst the snobbery and intrigue of Napoleon's relations and in-laws. Her love of candor and lack of pretense have made her many enemies, and in her defense, Ademar sings of her virtues to the ladies of the court.
When lurid terror ruled the land, when name and worth were counted crime, when for the Bourbon, sword in hand, my father fell before his prime, she sought me out of all bereft, a waif abandoned and alone. She gave me love whom hope had left, and took the orphan for her own. And love, and love, and ever love, she wove about my way. No glorious guardian from above held more tender sway. And so with heart and soul and
One true and loyal friend of Sonjane is old Papillon, the peddler. Now, Monsieur Papillon, court milliner to Her Imperial Majesty the Empress Josephine. And when he enters laden with frills and furbelows for Catherine, the self-styled milliner monarch displays his wares.
I'm millionaire monarch of Paris, and Paris is fair to adorn. Is monarch of raiment, it's needless to say, meant in places where raiment is worn. Conviction this argument carries, whoever to fashion lays claim. Though feminine Europe was only once Europe, Papillon's the gentleman's name.
Though feminine Europe has only once Europe, Papillon the gentleman's name.
Then let the sex acclaim their arbiter serene, who lends to blue a yellow too, and every hue a glam and new. Let fashion waft his fame from Paris to Pekin, who forms the taste and molds the waist of the Empress Josephine.
Then let the sex acclaim their arbiter serene, who lends to blue and yellow too, and every hue a glam and new.
Let fashion waft his fame from Paris to Pekin, who forms the taste and molds the waist of the Empress Josephine.
A pleasant interlude with Papillon, with Catherine collapsed on the floor after an unsuccessful attempt to learn how to curtsy, is interrupted by the arrival of the Emperor. For some time, Napoleon has been hearing reports about the gaucheries of Madame la Maréchale, and he has decided that his favorite Maréchal must divorce Sonjane and marry his imperial ward Renée, the sweetheart of Adhemar. Poor Catherine is too stricken to speak, but the impetuous Adhemar throws discretion to the winds, breaks his sword in two, and hurls the pieces at the Emperor's feet. The curtain comes down with the guards leading Adhemar to the cells, and Catherine on her knees before the Emperor, pleading for justice. Alone now in her apartment, Catherine is discovered seated at her dressing table, gazing sadly into the mirror. For her, it is a small comfort that her husband has now been honored with a dukedom, that she, Catherine Upshur, laundress of the Rue Royale, is the Duchess of Danzig. The mirror shows her a woman mocked by fate and sets her thoughts running to a melancholy theme. Tonight, her foster son Adhemar is to be court-martialed on a charge of treason, and Catherine has been forbidden to appear at the court ball. Every request she has made for an audience with the Emperor has been refused. His mind is made up. The Duke of Danzig must be rid of that ridiculous washerwoman and grace the court with a seemlier companion. But poor Lefebvre has only one wish, to live and end his days with his dear Catherine. And Catherine has no wish for a life in which there is no room for me and my old man.
Since we were twain, how could I face the world again? Save at your side all life were pain, a blank, a by and by. To me it means a world of bliss. I call again your touch, your kiss. I pray God bless you, breathing lips. God bless you, breathing
The scene changes again to the throne room in the Tuileries where the court ball is being held. Napoleon himself makes a somewhat theatrical entrance, with his hand thrust inevitably into his tunic, and a grim look, which becomes considerably grimmer when there is a commotion off. The doors burst open, and Catherine forces her way into the room. Once again, Napoleon orders her to be led out and placed under arrest, but this time the gentle Josephine intervenes and asks him to grant the Duchess her wish, a private audience, which at last he grudgingly permits. Alone with Napoleon, it seems that Catherine must be prepared to accept rough justice. But she has a trump card up her sleeve, one she has kept all through the years, a laundry bill still unpaid by a certain Lieutenant Bonaparte. Recklessly, she waves it under his nose, and when he commands her to relate its history, she sings.
92 the Tuileries were falling.
Not past recalling, they stand here still.
As others do, sire, who ne'er had thought it, nor e'er had wrought it, but through your will, that all lieutenant since has scaled the height, which then he only saw in vision's bright, but what he would see, behold tonight.
2 shirts? What's this? A washing bill?
His washing bill, his washing bill.
Unreceipted.
Yes, sire, since you say it, he didn't pay it. I don't complain, for knowing he was poor, you see, sire, those 2 louis, sire, I let remain. But now I send in slightly overdue your Majesty's account.
Mine? Is this true?
The laundress I, sire, for Lieutenant you.
Of course. Why, you were called Sonjane.
Toujours sans gêne, toujours sans gêne.
Napoleon, touched by the incident, warmly thanks Sonjane for her kindness to a poor lieutenant, releases Adhemar, and asks her pardon for his ingratitude. They then proceed to the ballroom, and on the arm of the great emperor, Sonjane remembers when she too was a soldier, a vivandière.
Riding on the way, the glorious fellows, under the star of day, victory medals, ready to fight, work, play, almost to build the flag, moving the blood for such a day, to live in a day. On the
pomp and splendor of the Second Empire, so glowingly recreated for the space of a few hours, have faded. The heavy fire curtain hides the secrets of the stage, and another night ends in our musical comedy theater.